what if I failed my own children? Maybe you love your grandchildren deeply, but part of you feels like, I failed my own children. Do I even have the right to share my faith with them? Well, I felt that way too. My name is Allison Peterson, and I'm a Nana, a long-standing teacher, a youth pastor's wife, and here at Nana-ing, we talk about how to share your faith and love and encourage your grandchildren. If you followed me for very long, you know that my husband and I adopted 3 sisters. Our family story was not simple. And there were definitely times when I thought, I don't even know what I'm doing. And I wish I'd known then what I know now. Now, their stories are their stories. Mine's different. I don't feel comfortable sharing all of their stories, but what I can share with you is how it felt to feel like I failed. Now, I teach high schoolers, and one of my high schoolers was the valedictorian this year, and in his address, he spoke on Philippians 3:13 and 14, how we need to press forward and not look back. He said moving forward doesn't mean pretending the past didn't happen. He said it's choosing not to let it define who you are now or where you're headed. Now, a high schooler has had 4 years to look back on, but motherhood, some of us have 20, 30, 40 years of motherhood to look back on. And that's a big take on Philippians 3:13 and 14. We remember words we wish we wouldn't have said, emotions we wish we wouldn't have let come out. And sometimes that repeats over and over in our heads. In our family, our daughters joined us when they were preteens, all 3 of them. One day I wasn't a mom, and the next day I was a mom of 3 preteens. And when you don't raise that child from birth, you miss out on where their hurts come from and what has brought them to what they are thinking about right then. And there were times when I know that I said the wrong things or didn't even know what they were processing or going through. Maybe you've had moments like that. Maybe your story is not the same as mine, but you can look back and see, or you can look back and say, gosh, I wish I would have known what I know now back then. The truth is, most of us have regrets. Regrets can start as a memory, but it can change into an identity. Regret tells us, I ruined everything. I have no right to speak into someone's life. God can't use me. I should have known better. I missed my chance. I've learned that regret doesn't stay in one part of our lives. It has a way of getting into our motherhood, our ministry, our work, our teaching, our relationships, and shame takes over. Regret and shame want us to think that one chapter is the whole story. But we're called to strain forward. Pressing forward doesn't mean refusing responsibility. Sometimes it means listening without defending ourselves. Sometimes it means respecting boundaries or maybe really realizing that someone is still healing. Sometimes moving forward is apologizing. I've apologized to my daughters. I realize that looking back, I didn't quite totally understand their story, and it didn't change the past. It didn't change what I had done, but it bridged a gap, and it helped our relationship to build trust. And sometimes one sentence spoken at the right time can rebuild something that we thought was broken. In fact, that's one reason why I created my Legacy Words Guide. I started thinking about how one sentence well spoken can make a difference in somebody's faith, in how they're encouraged and how they feel loved. God can still use the words you speak today to heal, encourage, love, and build God's faith with your grandchildren and your children. So when we process through our shame, the next healthy step is conviction. Conviction invites us to change where shame tells us it no longer matters. Conviction leads us to Jesus where shame pushes us away from him. Conviction produces hope, and shame produces hopelessness. Conviction says, come back, and shame says, stay stuck. Philippians 3:13 and 14 says, brothers, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Paul was not pretending that his past didn't exist. He knew exactly what was in his past, but he refused to let the past become the authority of his future. My valedictorian student said it this way: the door is not locked. Grace has opened it. But sometimes we remain inside because regret feels more truthful than forgiveness. But for us grandmas, forgetting what's behind does not mean losing the memory. It means the memory no longer gets to name us, control us, or pick the next step for us. Now, your grandchildren are not your opportunity to redo motherhood. Now, with my granddaughter, I just feel like I know how to do things right. And I'm excited about it, and possibly sometimes in my mind thinking I'm the best at it. But the Lord gently reminded me that this is not my second chance. This is my granddaughter, Sarah, and I'm the grandmother, and I need to love her. So I'm reminded that grandmotherhood is a new relationship where we can show wisdom, humility, and grace that God guides us through. You can love differently now. You can listen longer. You can control less. You can apologize more freely. You can pray without forcing. You can become a safe and grace-filled presence. You can speak words of blessing. In fact, that's why I put together my free Legacy Words Guide. Sometimes we want to encourage our grandchildren, we're just not sure what to say, and that's why I created it. I still don't get grandmothering right every day. There's still moments that I wish I had handled things differently. But I know something today that I didn't always know before, that God offers grace, and it's bigger than my regrets. You may not be able to go back and be the mother you wish you had been, but you can be the grandmother that God is calling you to be. You can be the woman He is shaping you to be now. You can take responsibility without living under condemnation. You can love without trying to control the outcome. You can honor the past without being trapped inside of it. And you can trust that God is not finished with you or your family's story yet. If you'd like a little help getting started, I've created a free Legacy Words Guide. It is a simple way to speak intentionally about your faith, love, and encouragement to your grandkids. And if you're interested in that, just type the word legacy in the comments and I'll make sure you get that. Dear Lord, help us to be the best grandmas we can be with your guidance. I'm Allison Peterson. Come nannying with us.